Well, hello, my beautiful Gemini. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam. Okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using guide chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Gemini, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask, how are you doing? So this reading is going to tap into what you're moving through at this moment in time and, of course, what lies on the other side. Now, this reading tends to be quite specific, so it may not resonate with all of you, of course, so please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. But let's get straight to it. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Gemini? So the first card we have there is the one who questions. So you are seeking some sort of guidance right now or seeking to understand, trying to make sense of a world that perhaps feels a little bit different in some way. It says here, curiosity, destiny, and search. So some of you may be looking into an alternative way of living right now, or an alternative path has piqued your attention in some way, and you're just trying to get all the facts and your plans together before you action it. And of course, a lot of you may be questioning things that you've experienced in order to go through some personal development and growth. At this time, a lot of you may be questioning the world. Why does it feel like everything is somehow the same but totally different? Why does it feel like it's upside down in some way, that it's ramped up a certain level of pressure that perhaps doesn't need to be this way? Why? A lot of you are just asking that question, why, right now, in order to see beyond what is in front of you, to check in with your inner compass as well. Because of course, you know, it's not just all about visual facts. I mean, Gemini, you like to see the duality of circumstances and people. You know, you'll have something in front of you that you can see with your eyes, but your gut instinct may also tell you something different as well. So you may be trying to factor it all in and just go a little bit deeper right now in order to work something out. So you're very cerebral, yes. Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords energy, you are deep in your thoughts, a flurry of activity, questioning everything, adapting to certain things that are going on in your life right now. You're seeking to understand something. Now, this could be seeking to understand something about a person or the world or something about yourself. This reading is about you, so a lot of you are trying to understand you, and you may be looking at your trigger points right now. Whatever it is that you are trying to understand right now, I feel like you're very clever in the way that you are deep in thought, managing stress levels, managing your to-do list, certainly, but also managing intrusive thoughts. Flurry of activity, you have an incredible mind, but your mind will go to places that you're like, whoa, I don't want to go there. Or you're like, okay, why do I not want to go there? You know, what is it that limits me or stops me from going further on that thought? You are breaking through any limitations right now. We have the Ten of Pentacles. As a crossing position, you've got Ace of Swords. Yes, you're very cerebral. You know, there is a lot of curiosity upon you. And for some of you with that Ten of Pentacles, you may be seeking to understand more about your family unit. And this could be across the board. It can be like why a certain person is the way that they are. Or it can be that you're seeking to understand about generational wounding, or perhaps you're seeking to understand like generational ailments that perhaps have been present in your family lineage, and you're seeking to stay on top of your health goals to make sure that you don't experience this, or how you could manage this should you ever get something like this. So I feel a lot of you are just asking deeper questions. Oh my gosh, you got the Judgment card, which is to weigh up your options. It is to analyze, so there's something on your mind here. Ten of Pentacles, some of you could be, focusing on the economy right now and trying to understand why certain countries are, implementing certain structures in order to make things more challenging financially. Is it something to do with the currency and devaluing? Is it something to do with incompetency? Is it something to do with a certain narrative or not? Has it always been this way? So a lot of you are just asking lots of questions, and I'm not here to lead you down any path as to what anything could mean. I'm here to understand the energy so I can understand the outcome. And of course, whatever it is that's on your mind right now, you're going to discover the truth of it, because there's a breakthrough here right now. Some of you may be trying to understand how you can make more money, how you can focus on your retirement, your 401ks. This is also about loyalty. So it can be that you're focused on your loyalty to people or situations that you feel are not reciprocal at this time. You may be fully invested in something. Got the Sun there, big awakening energy, which is all about clarity as well. But it also means there's a lot of success in your future on whatever decisions you're making right now. Queen of Pentacles, you just want to be secure. You want to have a happy home life. You're trying to move away from any drama. You're working really hard to build a life of comfort. You're also trying to come home to yourself, conserving your energy, making sure that you don't give too much of yourself to things that just don't feel like they are positive, or things that waste your time. You're like trying to stay away from those things at this time. We've got the Eight of Wands there as well. Very fast-paced environment. You may feel there's something in the nature of time as well. That time is flying on by, and you may be trying to utilize your time as best as you know how. And you may be just witnessing that suddenly we're at the end of the year, for example. You're like, whew, where did that time go? Well, you've been very responsible. You've been focusing on your sense of duty. You have lots of commitments. You've been working really hard to make things work. A lot of you are committed in and around your home space right now as well, to your family, your loyalty to your friends. And we've got the Chariot card. You're constantly on the go. There's a lot of fast-paced energy around you, but there's also fast-paced change. And I feel whatever this is, we've got the Two of Swords. You're trying to gain clarity. Six of Cups. And we've got the Hermit. I mean, the Hermit is literally to withdraw in order to seek clarity. So I feel with that Six of Cups here, it can indicate that you're trying to find balance in your life, but also you're deep in nostalgia. You're thinking about the good old days. Some of you may be lamenting some aspect of your life that has changed, and you feel like, am I ever going to return to a happier time? Am I ever going to return to a place that I feel comfortable? Because when you have either an Empress energy or a Queen of Pentacles, this can mean that you're trying to come home to your center, to ground yourself, but also come home to self, to feel comfortable. And if you feel like the world around you is changing, evolving, you're trying to find your place in it. You're an old soul as well, and I feel like you're exhausted with some of the things that have been going on recently. Especially with that Hermit energy, it can indicate that you're fed up. You've been removing yourself from circles that you don't feel an affinity with. I feel a lot of you are in a period of rebuilding as well. My guides asked me to get another card for you, so they've asked me to shuffle one more time. So there's two cards there with that, I think. We have High Priestess. That is questioning. That is, reprogramming. And this could be reprogramming generational cycles or learning from the past in order to inform your present moment and strengthen the present moment so you can build upon for your future. And finally, we got Six of Pentacles, balance. And there's two sixes here. I kind of like that because that means some nice surprises coming on in from the universe that you'll love. Two in particular is what I'm seeing that you will celebrate. But what I feel is that for some of you, your circle is getting smaller but stronger. Quality over quantity. I feel like you're surrounding yourself with the right people, the people you have, a vibrational exchange with. You are connecting to people who raise you up rather than tear you down. And I feel that's a disconnect from things that perhaps you feel are not reciprocal. That could be a job as well. It could be a neighborhood. It can be an environment. It could be a hobby. Things that just don't fit right with you anymore. I feel like you are questioning why it's changed or why you've changed or what's next. If you're letting go of things, it can feel a little bit discombobulating or a little bit like you're out of sync or out of rhythm with your life right now. But it's because you're clearing space for what is to come. I mean, this is like a monumental declutter. Six of Cups is nostalgia. It is to, acknowledge that some things are in the past and they stay there in order to clear space for what the universe is about to bestow upon you. Six of Pentacles is a divine gift from the universe, something that will, be exciting. It is the universe exhibiting generosity. It reminds you that the world is full of pleasant surprises, not just negativity and fear, which we are seeing a lot of in the world right now. The Hermit is to withdraw from anything that makes you feel cautious or fearful. I mean, always trust your instincts and your intuition. That is your inner compass, your gauge. But I would say a lot of you are developing and honing your spiritual gifts. You've been going through an awakening, and it's kind of like encouraged you to make some changes. Big changes happening in your home life for some of you. This could be you questioning whether you feel like you belong in the neighborhood you're in. Some of you may have just moved to a new neighborhood and you're trying to settle there. You may be questioning, did you make the right decision? I feel like you trust your heart. You're making the right decision. But the Knight of Swords is to adapt to some sort of change or to respond differently to things that once were. So I feel like you are evolving in some way. You have a lot on your mind, certainly a lot on your to-do list, and you're at capacity. There is a flurry of activity. You're focused on your goals, your dreams, but the warrior energy is connected to this. So I feel like you've been through some stuff. You've battled away, you've been called to action, and you're not just rushing into things. I feel like your brilliant mind is helping you calculate the next steps, but you may be in two minds about something right now and trying to make a decision, but you will make the right decision, the successful decision, okay? Also, the Knight of Swords can indicate that you want to broaden your perspective. Where you feel like you are right now, it feels like you're so fed up or bored with the way things have been that you want something new. So it can be that you want to see the world differently. You want to get out there and try new things. You're also looking at learned responses, trigger points as well, that you may be trying to step away from, whether it is intrusive thoughts, whether it is, because the Two of Swords can indicate a little bit of tension there or uncertainty. I mean, I definitely see you're considering your options on something. You're judging something, weighing something up, trying to seek answers, and you will get the answers you seek. I want you to be aware of that. Your presiding energy is clarity. Okay, and yes, there's going to be a flurry of activity in that beautiful mind of yours. There's going to be so many ideas, so many answers coming to you, but you will know the right one for you. And I feel you'll be called to action to do something here. And I feel like you're very clever. You're instinctive. You understand. And things are going to go very well for you. You're actually doing a great job right now, even though it is challenging. A lot of you may feel with that 10 of Pentacles, you're all in. You give your whole heart and soul to something. 10 of Pentacles indicates complete commitment to something. And a lot of you, it can be complete commitment to adapting to change. This could be across the board. It could be body, mind, and soul. You could have promised yourself, made a declaration to yourself that you're going to perhaps change the way that you eat, your food sources. You may even be looking at the food sources that you digest right now. And a lot of you, it can be that instead of just saying, oh, that's a really wonderful kind of orange, right? Let's just choose something out of the blue there, an orange. You could be going, okay, what are the vitamins and minerals that go along with that? So you may be looking at an orange going, oh, that's my daily intake of vitamin C, for example, because the Pentacles, of course, they're about money, but they're actually about tangible earthy elements or minerals and vitamins in our body. So some of you may feel that you've been a little bit out of sorts recently. You may be adapting or having a new diet. And if you are doing that, I would say make sure that you are getting like a full kind of mineral and vitamin based diet there. So if you're trying something new and you're just feeling a little bit like, oh, you feel great at first, but then you're feeling a little bit out of sorts, just be mindful of what it is that you're cutting out and whether it is something that's necessary in your body for there to be balance, okay? Because when you have a crossing card like this, you read the reverse and the upright, so it can indicate that, something is a little bit out of balance there, and it could be a vitamin or a mineral because you've changed something in your diet. Now, change is always good, of course, but make sure that you encompass all of the aspects there. Now, of course, for some of you, it doesn't have to be connected to your diet or exercise routines. A lot of you are promising yourself to be more active because you may be looking at some sort of family or generational kind of health thing that you want to avoid. I mean, looking at the energy, Six of Pentacles means balance. It means that, you are informed by the past with that Six of Cups, and the High Priestess is a reprogramming energy. So it could be that you witnessed parents or guardians go through something and you're like promising yourself, I'm never going to experience that, or I'm never going to go through that because it was challenging or it was hard or it wasn't positive for them. So I feel a lot of you could be just on top of that right now. When you have the High Priestess as an outcome energy, it means you're opening the door to your subconscious mind in order to reprogram your brain. And this could be very beneficial, of course, because it asks you to question, like, how am I going to show up for myself today? And what did I learn from yesterday or the past or from someone from my past that can help me reprogram today? So you're in review, as it were, to remind yourself. And I would say that Ten of Pentacles, this can be connected to the family or something in the generational kind of realm there. And you're just making sure that you kind of like rewrite your personal narrative because you're not kind of like beholden to your generational lineage. And this can transpire in many different ways. It doesn't have to be connected to health. It can be that perhaps there's been some sort of cycle of repeat that has occurred in your family. It could be, for example, addiction, or it could be, perhaps cheating, people going through really challenging, heartbreaking relationships. It can be anything. And you're like, you know what? I'm not allowing that to happen to me. So you're choosing a different course. You're questioning, how can I avoid this, or how can I make sure I'm on top of this so it can benefit me? Because you're learning from this past experience. So for example, my guys just said, for example, and they gave me an example, so I'm just going to mention it because it's there, okay? Some of you may be cutting out something. So if your parents or guardians, and there's no judgment here, everyone's dealing with a scenario in that moment in real time, and they're doing what they think is best for them in that moment, okay? It may not be best for everybody, may not be best in terms of the circumstances, but they make a choice, okay? And then it has a repercussion. So my guides gave me, for example, if you are someone who had parents or guardians who, like to drink, for example, you may have grown up and gone, okay, I don't really want to follow a certain route. And if you like a tipple, again, no judgment here, it can be that you're like, okay, I'm just keeping on top of this so that I can control this and it doesn't control me. So I'm just being given that. And again, this is not going to resonate with all of you. Please apply it to your situation. It just feels like you're reprogramming something. And for some of you, it could be that you're looking at your triggers. What triggers you? It can be that you are making sure that you surrender and say, I'm not going to be triggered by that because that means someone has control over pushing my buttons. So I just feel like you're evolving and being content within yourself at this moment in time, okay? Ten of Pentacles, it tells me that there has been some change in your family or some of you in a relationship. So this can indicate that for some of you, you may have gone through a high-level commitment breakup, a divorce, or it can be that you're just trying to get your life back on track. You are going to enjoy your singlehood. You're going to enjoy your freedom. There is an energy of you being seen in all your glory and attracting, a new person. There's going to be someone from your past as well who's interested in you, knowing that you're single, but I feel like you're very cautious about that because I feel like you're a very forward-moving person. You will be talking to someone new, and I feel like the universe will surprise you with that person. We have the Chariot card, and the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands can connect to like making sure that you fall in love and not in lust, so that you notice any red flags when you meet a person who's not right for you. So if you're looking for love, I do see love coming on in for you, but this is not a love reading. But if you've been going through a divorce or a separation, it can be really challenging and it can have knocked your confidence in some way. Shine your light. Allow yourself to be seen. You're awesome. Just because that person, either you outgrew that person or they were not a perfect fit. I mean, no one is ever a perfect fit, of course, but if the relationship just ran its course, or the universe was protecting you from this relationship in order to sever ties with it, it's because they're aligning you with someone who speaks your love language and someone who really is careful with your heart, someone's passionate, kind, loving, open, and everything you deserve in a relationship. So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to remove myself from that energy. Now, some of you, because of course this is a family card, this can indicate that some of you, whilst you love your family or your soul tribe, you want a little bit more independence. So it can be that you want to go out there, do your own thing. You may be doing something new that is totally different from the way that your family did things. So if, for example, you know, your whole family worked in legal, you may be like, I want to be a performer. I don't want to be in legal, or I want to be a doctor. Or if your whole family have been doctors, you may be like, I want to be an architect. You're kind of defining yourself in a different way at this moment, because you've got that Ace of Swords, which is to do something new, to take the initiative, to be bold, daring, to take accountability for your life and own your truth. So you're living your authentic truth. And of course, you know, I feel at first you may be unsure as to how people will take that, of you being your wonderful authentic self, but actually this is your life. Okay, so they can suck it up. They should get busy living their own life and not be all about yours. Be supportive. I feel it's important they'll be supportive. There's definitely a lot of support in your future. Okay, so I see that people come around if they're not happy about it, but you're going to be a monumental success at whatever it is that you want to do. Okay, and if some of you are retired right now and you actually took an alternative path in your life and you've been a warrior, been so strong, very independent, you could be just very nostalgic about the decisions you've made right now, how, you know, awesome you are that you challenged the status quo, you reprogrammed something, you decided not to follow a certain path, and you did it all by yourself. The universe is going to reward you. Whether that's through friendship, whether that's through opportunity, whether it's through increases in finances, or just this sense of fulfillment. The universe is about to send you a karma boomerang, is something that's coming through there. But the Ace of Swords, you're adapting to something new, no matter who you are. Ace of Swords is getting clear. It is about getting an answer to a question. So if you have a question, whether it's about your destiny, because a lot of you, that card is about your destiny, you're going to get the answer. You're going to get the kind of information that you seek. This card, for some of you, not all of you, of course, there is an energy that perhaps you've been waiting for a procedure. And this is only if you need one and you've come to this reading knowing you need one. If you're waiting for information regarding an operation or a procedure, okay, and maybe it's something connected to something generational there, I feel like the way that it's handled for you is so much better. It feels like you're brought back into balance. There's healing here. So if you're waiting for a procedure or an operation with the sun energy, I feel like there is healing, there is energy, there's growth, there is happiness, because it feels with that High Priestess there and the Six of Pentacles with the Hermit, you know, you will get information. I mean, some of you may get like a cancellation, a sudden minute cancellation, and you may have to change your plans, but I feel like you're in good hands, and you may weigh up your options whether you want to take this or whether you want to wait it out. But I feel, looking at the energy, you act quite quickly on this, and you will need to convalesce with that Hermit energy. It'll take you out of action for a little while to regroup your energy and get back to best. And you may be a little bit exhausted at first. Don't rush back into things, because you're the sort of person who you like to be on the go. You like to, you know, get healed and off, but make sure you don't rush back too quickly, because you could have a reset and you need to be back in balance there. So High Priestess is like, be cautious about rushing back into the fray, as it were. but you know your stuff, okay? But I feel with that Queen of Pentacles, you are in good hands with someone who likes to make you feel comfortable, someone who basically has a lot of knowledge, and someone who is so good at what they do. They're very committed, and, you know, they also are trustworthy. So that's something that's coming out there as well. But always do your due diligence, okay? And make sure that you investigate anything that you are about to connect to, because, you know, this is a card of taking responsibility and accountability for your actions and your decisions as well there. And I'm going to remove myself from that energy regarding some sort of surgery or procedure there. This can literally be for any of you that you are just owning your truth and having the courage of your convictions to run with an idea that is going to transform your life. But I would feel more than anything, this card is an energy of like wanting life to be more meaningful, this sense of purpose, because you have the Judgment energy. So you're running with your purpose. Now, it's interesting because goals are not the same as purpose. A lot of you are very goal-oriented. The Knight of Swords is action-packed. It means you've had an idea, you're running with it. It means that you are accomplishing things to a very high degree. You have higher standards. You're holding yourself certainly to higher standards, and you're not willing to coast when you have a Knight of Swords. You're called to action. You're focused on something. You're paying attention to detail right now, and it's all in the detail, okay? And you're being meticulous with what it is that you want. And I feel like the Judgment card is weighing up your options. This is in the past, so it tells me that you've been contemplating a new way of doing something, or adapting to a new lifestyle change, or adapting to a new environment, new project, new relationship, new sense of purpose for a long time. And you've been kind of like recognizing that your goals are not your purpose. There's something in your goals that you feel purposeful in that you need to accomplish, but it's not your sense of calling. So I feel like both of the energies there are trying to align at this moment, because the Chariot card is all about alignment. If you think about the Chariot card, there's always either two sphinxes or two horses on the Chariot, and they are very independent individuals, okay? And they each have their sense of direction. But the Chariot card, often there's no reins on the Chariot card. Okay, which means that your sheer willpower is going to take you to where you want to go, but you must be aligned with your thoughts and your actions, but also the universe will step in to help you on your path. And when it is right and you feel aligned, it will be easier. The path will be made clear. But if there's something of like a glitch or a bump in the road, or something feels like you're pushing against the energy, I feel it's highlighting, don't push against the energy. You will know when the right moment is to move forward. But also it's like, are your goals aligned with your sense of purpose and your calling? It's giving you a moment to question. And I feel a lot of you are doing that right now, and you're going to gain that sense of clarity. I feel a lot of you, it's like you're reaching for a new life. You're reaching for that portal to more, whether it's more opportunity, better health, a relationship, or better understanding in a relationship if you're in one. The Judgment card is you weighing up your options. And of course, it is a revelation. It is the truth. It is an idea. It is you acknowledging that you're getting an answer, and the time is now for action, because this is you strategizing, analyzing, judging a situation, but it's in the past position. So the time is now for action. You've got the Knight of Swords, which is a flurry of activity, earthly plane position. The time is now to activate whatever it is that you're doing, this new thing. Now, on a personal level, because these are all things outside of yourself, ideas, ways of living, but on a personal level, I feel a lot of you are going through a bit of an awakening. I feel like you're having revelations, you're examining your path right now, you're rebirthing, you're going to have more energy, you are going to be doing a lot of healing, a lot of kind of restarting things as well. The Judgment card indicates, what do you let go of so that you can embrace something else? What is coming with you in 2026, and what is remaining in 2025? And the Sun card indicates clarity. Also, of course, this is a card of healing. And I feel because you have this Two of Swords energy, I mean, yes, you've been going through a lot, and you've been holding it all together, and you may feel uncertain about the pathway, but I feel in your future, this is a card of success, happiness, joy. Okay, but also it's about understanding yourself in a deeper way so you can be free, so you can be your true authentic self, so you can allow yourself to shine, take up more space. be more confident in your decisions and trust your gut instinct there. But the sun is truth. The sun is awareness. And you may be becoming aware right now of either something in world events or the economy or in your family lineage or in your neighborhood or in your home or in your relationship or your friendships that perhaps needed some adjustment. Okay, and I feel like you are owning your truth, having those conversations that you need to have, but also you're making decisions that will affect your future so that you remain in balance when everything changes, if that makes sense. It may not make sense to everybody, but I feel some of you are on course right now to think about where you feel like you belong, where you feel safe and secure, and you're making some decisions in order to make sure that that occurs. I mean, the Ten of Pentacles in the crossing position can indicate some of you are a little bit worried about finances right now, but you're a very gifted and talented person, and you're someone who's very productive, and you are someone who should showcase their talents. If you've got an idea, I would say your Queen of Pentacles, it's in your near future position, which means multiplying wealth. So if some of you have been going through some problems, if you've had a business, for example, there's been foreclosure, feel like you're going to have another idea that's going to bring in more money and more wealth. If some of you have been leaving the family business, for example, it can be that you're going to have an idea to go off and be more independent and do your own thing. If some of you are literally leaving your home, your family home, in order to go off and do a job or do something, you'll always return to where you feel home is, but you're going to make more money or make a name for yourself there. For some of you, this Ten of Pentacles can also indicate that you feel a little bit isolated at this moment in time, or you feel like you're not seen. For some of you, this could be loneliness as well. You may be searching for your soul tribe, and I definitely see group activity. I actually see you meeting a person who becomes a best friend in your future if you are searching for people who have an affinity with you. And also someone from your past reaches out, and I feel like you rekindle that friendship. Okay, so I want you to be aware of that. This person always saw you as someone who was very mature, and they were actually intimidated by your knowledge. They felt next to you when they were younger that you knew stuff that they just couldn't get to grips with. But now that they've evolved, they realize it was just their low self-esteem, their low confidence. And this person, they remember having a great time with you, a lot of fun, but they may have distanced themselves because they felt like you were elevating in your life in ways that they felt they weren't at that time. There was no negativity around this person. This person always wanted the best for you, but the more that people were successful, the more they felt smaller in their energy. So they just kind of like disappeared from people's lives. This person's coming back into your life because they have healed a part of themselves that doesn't compare themselves to others. And I feel like you will really appreciate rekindling this friendship that's coming out there as well. But let's bring this back to you, because this card, of course, it indicates more comfort in your future. It means a happier home life. So if there has been some sort of challenge or conflict in the home with either a family member and you're trying to exert your independence, and maybe they are as well. For example, if you're a parent and you have a teenager and there's some challenge there sometimes as they, discover their identity and they discover more about themselves as they grow, it can be that you find a happy medium. You kind of offer a foundation of comfort and guidance there as well, but also you acknowledge your own value and the need for respect, and this will bring a togetherness because there is a togetherness there. But there's going to be some challenging conversations, but you will move on from these things, so this too shall pass is what I'm being given. But the Queen of Pentacles, a lot of you are trying to, secure your future, feel safe in your circumstances. You may have been worried or kind of like cautious about world events or things that are going on right now. But I feel with that Six of Pentacles, you are coming back into balance. You are looking at the ingredients you feel like you miss in your life, and you're focused on those. And the universe is going to bring you some happy surprises right there, because I feel like you're showing up for yourself with this card, giving back to you, investing in yourself there. And of course, you're the sort of person you like to create security for you and your loved ones. Okay. And I feel like you're a very resourceful kind of person, especially with this card. But there may be someone, and there's no pointing fingers here, but there may be someone who perhaps judges you sometimes, or you feel like it's never enough. It feels like exhausting, like, I'm doing my best here. Give me a break. This person, I feel like they need to do some healing for themselves there. I feel like it is a generational thing. It's something that's been passed down, and that's not an excuse, okay? But I feel you are learning that your happiness is not tied up within another, and you're exerting a little bit more independence right now. Doesn't mean that you're going to distance yourself from this person or leave them in the dust. It just means that you're trying to foster a foundation of greater understanding so that you can kind of like work out what it is that perhaps needs to be said. Because I feel like you're going to have a conversation with this person that kind of erects healthier boundaries, because you are not just there to make sure that you fulfill their happiness and lose yourself in that. So I feel like you're acknowledging that you have needs, and of course you're articulating them from a very healthy space, not to cause conflict. I mean, it could go either way, but actually it fosters understanding and both of you speaking your truth. I mean, sometimes people act out because they're either worried about something or they're unhappy in their own life. And unless you know about it, then of course you're just going to feel like they're berating you, judging you, or it's just never enough, okay? So opening a door to a conversation can help understanding preside over the situation, and they can acknowledge the pressures that you're under too. Because sometimes people are just so lost in their own world. It doesn't mean that they're being selfish. It doesn't mean that they are ignoring or avoiding your needs. It can be that they are just so caught up in something that is like a personal narrative that haunts them, or they get lost in it. And I feel there could be some sort of awakening moment between you and a person in particular. Please apply it to your situation. It doesn't have to be a family member. It doesn't have to be, a friend or a partner. It can be like a boss or a neighbor. It could be somebody that you've had challenge with, that you've been all in on. You've been so committed to this or so invested in this, and it's been hard. But I feel you're going to nurture a dialogue in the future and get some answers. And you've been doing a lot of questioning with this, and it just balances things out, okay? So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to remove myself from that energy. Also, I feel some of you could be activating some sort of working from home thing, making money from home, or looking at a talent that you have. Some of you could also be selling pre-loved goods, but I definitely see you multiplying wealth and focusing a lot on your home space right now and seeking to understand the people that you surround yourself with. And we've got that 8 of Wands. This is your advice to yourself in this moment, which is to keep up with a certain pace of life right now, because things are a lot, but also it is to focus on your destination point. The 8 of Wands indicates you're going somewhere. There's movement and improvement there, and there could be some news. As I said, you're seeking clarity on something. 8 of Wands is news rushing in. Dissect the news, get advice with the news if you need to. Whatever it is, I feel like, the outcome energy indicates balance, harmony, and a relief. And the universe has got your back. But the 8 of Wands is you checking in with a destination point, a sense of purpose. Even the most sophisticated GPS system in the world can take you nowhere unless you give it an address. What is the destination? And with the Judgment energy, this is about your calling, your sense of purpose, not your goals, not your dreams, but also your sense of purpose within all of that construct. Okay, so I feel like you're tapping in a little bit deeper at this moment in time. 8 of Wands, there's movement. A lot of you could be literally relocating or trying new things. Something is different, something is new, and you're going to run with this, and it's going to bring a lot of success. This means that you're influencing your circumstances, and you will celebrate the swift changes that are happening in your life. Now, a lot of you feel exhausted and shattered, of course, and sometimes when we feel really exhausted and shattered, it means that the universe wants to put things in a different place or rearrange things. It gives you a pause. There is always purpose in pause. So if you feel like, yes, you've been on the go, there's a flurry of activity because you're busy right now. I feel like you're reacting to something that has made you adapt or change the way you live in some way, and it does have a positive outcome. But I feel a lot of you, it's an energy of like, well, where is this taking me to? What is it I want to occur? Like, what is the outcome? And of course, I feel this news that comes in, you have to respond to it quickly, but don't feel rushed into it. Okay, this sounds very sort of like cloak and dagger like information, but I feel it's something personal to you to give you greater understanding about your commitments, to the people around you, your family, to your soul path, but also to your abundance. So you're doing a lot of questioning right now, like, where do you belong? Is there a different part of the world that you belong in? A lot of you are thinking about relocating. You don't have the world card here, so this can tell me that you're not thinking about going overseas, but you may be. The Chariot card is an energy of relocation or being committed to change. Doesn't have to always be that you are changing a location, but it can be that you're adapting or changing something within yourself that you will celebrate and suddenly see progress in. You can have confidence in your ideas because they are going to bring you towards success. You have the willpower to succeed. Now, I feel a lot of you are trying to fall back in love with your life again, but also the Chariot card is a sense of dedication to your commitments, and it's hard, but you will see a measure of success there. The Chariot card is also you triumphing over a challenge, and this is circumstances outside of yourself. So there is advancement in your future. The Chariot can also indicate a lot of you, especially since there's Pentacles there, you're keeping a tight rein on your finances, but you will compound your wealth or build your wealth or rebuild wealth over time, and you will feel secure. A lot of you, if you're trying to exert more independence in your life, you love your family and your friends, but you may want to go off and do something independently. And it kind of like informs who you are, and it helps elevate you and give you more confidence in yourself there. And with that Chariot energy, I feel it's a more interesting, fast-paced kind of lifestyle that you're embarking on right now. But I feel there's something new here. You've been questioning it and you're about to embark on it. I feel there's activity that drives you forward. You've got a vision, you see it, and it's going to be successful. Now, the hope and fear position is the Two of Swords. Two of Swords, the worst thing for a beautiful Gemini is boredom, to be in the same place, to feel stuck, to not be able to make a decision. And I feel indecision is the worst. Of course, you know with your gut instinct the right way to move forward, but also a pause. Sometimes, and don't shoot the messenger when I say this, your foundation card is the Knight of Swords, okay? So this can be that you're constantly busy. So sometimes it's not that you fear a pause, because you're a very deep thinker, okay? You're very cerebral, very philosophical, but there may be an energy recently where you have, maybe as you've been going to bed, for example, you've decided to listen to something to fall asleep to instead of listening to your thoughts. So I feel like your guides are saying, is there something you could cut out right now in order to hear the whispers of your heart a little bit more? Are you too busy to notice the chatter that's going on in your mind? So I feel a lot of you may be, kind of looking at that at this time in order to sit with self. This is a pause. When you have a Two of Swords, it can indicate that you need to take a break to consider your options, or you have been doing that, and now an answer has arrived for you, and it is for your highest good, but sometimes we overthink or we question it. But if you're in a peaceful state of mind and you're like, well, that's the answer, then that's the first step. So trust your instincts. Now also, there may have been a person or a situation that you've been really confused about, because the Two of Swords in this position, you read the reverse, okay? And it can indicate that you've been trying to work something out. I want you to be aware by the end of the year, 2025, into 2026, you're going to know the answer 100%. And you're never going to look back, because you're going to realize you're making the right decision on whatever this is, okay? Also, a lot of you are trying to understand your past so that you can reinforce your future. Six of Cups is nostalgia, but also it is an energy of you recognizing that you are a gift, okay? A lot of you may be hoping to return to happier times. You may have felt it was easier in the past, but the best is yet to come, and it is not fleeting. It is something that is going to stick around for you when it comes to happiness. The Hermit, when you're going through an awakening or in a period of rebuilding, often this can be a very isolating kind of period, because people who are reaching higher frequencies in their life, they lean into solitude a little bit more. So I feel like you are in a period right now where you are kind of like acknowledging a distance between things that don't resonate with you anymore. You are an old soul, but you may feel like you're on the outside looking in sometimes. The Hermit literally removes themselves from society when they feel at odds at that society, or they do not buy into all that glitters. because it's not gold. You know, I feel like you're seeking greater authenticity. You're owning your time. You're being more disciplined with yourself. And you're recognizing that some people or situations, they don't resonate with you anymore. You're just exhausted. It just feels heavy. And sometimes when something feels heavy, it's not because you're weak and you can't carry the burden because you're a very strong person. It's because something has expired in your life. Something is over. Something is ending and you need to let it go. Okay, and that can be hard to let go of a situation that you've known for such a long time. But the Judgment card is to let go of something, to embrace something new, or create space for a new way of living or a new way of adapting to a brand new world, for example. And you're for it and you're secure in it. You like change, as long as you're in control of it, of course, but you like to explore. You are an explorer. You are an air element, so you like to connect to things and, you know, try things out. So with that High Priestess, I feel like you're believing in yourself, you're connecting to your higher wisdom, you are enlightened, and you may feel a little bit in between worlds right now because you're in the middle of that gear shift. You know, you're outgrowing things in your life, circumstances, you are rebirthing a brand new you, and you're adapting to the world in a different way. And the Six of Pentacles indicates harmony, balance, and a relief, but also it indicates an unexpected surprise from the universe to remind you that there are some really great things being offered to you and that brighter times do lie ahead for you there as well. Six of Pentacles is also an energy of things that you're investing in right now will yield results, or something you've been asking for, praying for is going to come back to you. Your generosity and kindness on this earth indicates you're an earth angel, and you need to make sure that you don't forget about your own needs, because a lot of you may be out of balance there, as I said, but you're coming back into balance, and you're doing just a lot of questioning and reprogramming in your life. And this is just like a small portion of energy that you're tapping into. You're so much more than what's going on here with the questioning, but I feel, you know, a lot of you may have felt out of balance or out of rhythm with your life or out of sorts. You may not have felt like your usual self over the last couple of years. Something is different and you're trying to understand what that is and how you connect to the world around you. Some of the things that you used to love doing perhaps just don't feel the same way, or friendships are evolving in certain ways. You know, I just feel like you're just doing a lot of sorting through the wheat from the chaff kind of energy in your life, decluttering. So, interesting. We have, with greater awareness, you will find the answers you're looking for. I mean, even in this deck, it's like you could have got any card. There's a card here that says a detour is available right now that you can benefit from. You didn't get that card. You got the one about answers. Okay, so something will be revealed to you and you're on course. Okay, it also says here, life isn't a sprint. It's a long race and you're not just in it to win. That message kind of came up there as well. You know, it's about this fast-paced environment. Trust the pause. The pause has a purpose. So you are connecting to the right answer for your highest good, and it will come to you. But when you shall, because I see the sun energy there for you, you will be surrounded by people with different agendas. It may scare you away, but fight it. You got this. I mean, because you have so many swords in your reading, of course, dialogue, discourse, very important. Even if a person does not agree with you, it's so important to have those conversations, those debates, because it can open the mind, okay? There can be things that a person may say that you don't agree with, but it sets you thinking, to explore it, to investigate it. Doesn't mean you're going to come around to believing it. It just means that you're open enough to consider it. And, you know, what you say and what you believe in, you should stand for as well and speak your truth, which I feel a lot more of you are like speaking your truth, standing up for something, because you can educate other people or at least set them thinking in order to investigate or transform their mind, expand their mind. I mean, humans, we came to this lifetime with the power of thought, with the power of communication, which we learn over time, of course, and we evolve. But it was gifted. It is a gift, and we should acknowledge that as long as we're not hurting anyone, you know, the power of discourse, conversation, it is so important. It brings us together. It helps us explore new things, things that we don't know about. So, you know, some of you, even though there is a gear shift in your life and it's going to thrust you into a new environment. So, for example, If you're moving to a new neighborhood and you're looking around the neighborhood and you're like, I really like it here, but the people, I hope, they're my kind of people. But these people may not be exactly your kind of people, but when you get to know them, you'll recognize actually there is a different energy that comes from them. Fight the resistance of like stepping away because you feel called to be in that environment. Always be discerning about the company that you keep, but I feel there is a message there not to kind of like judge. A lot of you may also be trying not to judge. That is one of the hardest things for humans, for us not to judge a situation without all the facts and just not judge another person's journey because we don't know what they had to go through to get to where they are. We don't know the hand that they were dealt in life. We don't know the decisions they've had to make. You can walk past a person in the street who bumps into you, you're like, hey, you're like, how thoughtless, how arrogant. But that person could have been delivered the worst news of their life. And they are just contemplating what the hell they're going to do next. And they're just lost in that. And they just like, oh, I'm sorry. Or they were like, oh, they're just so like phased out. So, of course, we should all take accountability for our actions. We should all acknowledge that we should be kinder to each other because we just don't know what each other are going through. But I feel that's something that perhaps you're looking at when it comes to humanity or your personal circumstances or just your awakening. It is starting to help you acknowledge how you interact with others or how they interact with you, whether it's reciprocal, whether it was respectful. So I feel a lot of you, you're just deep in thought right now. And it may be because you're finding that your relationships with people are evolving. Maybe your friends are different. Maybe you're different. And, there's a dynamic that just doesn't fit or is evolving into something that you're not sure about, but you're willing to explore it and not kind of like judge it or dismiss it. So I'm just going to leave that there. And oh my gosh, this is one of the best cards in this deck. I love this card. It has literally never come out before in a reading that I can remember anyway. It says, you have special gifts. Never surrender to normal. So you're in the process right now. As I said, you may feel like you're in between worlds, but it is here that you leave the familiar to embrace the extraordinary. And I feel like you're about it. You've been chosen to be about it. So lean into those spiritual gifts, lean into your talents, your creativity. You connect to the divine energy within you when you're creative or you're doing something that has an outlet, whether it's writing, painting, expressing yourself, vocalizing your emotions, whatever it is, music, poetry, just can be conversation with a person and being there for others. So I feel this is a great potent time for you to step into this kind of like new way of conducting life, like a mindset kind of reshift, as it were. And we've got a heart. Now this heart is interesting because my guides, they said to me a couple of months ago that this is not a broken heart. This is the space within your heart to be filled. This is the missing ingredient. It is the fulfillment within yourself to feel happy and whole, because of course you feel whole all by yourself. But of course it can indicate you've had a lot of hardship, you're healing. But consider this space or this emptiness or numbness or this kind of feeling or desire that there is a missing ingredient. See it as you're going to identify it and it is going to fulfill you. The space has been cleared, as I said earlier in your reading, for this to come in. The Six of Pentacles is a surprise from the universe to fulfill you and fulfill you deep within your soul, okay? Not just financially, because I see financial success here as well, or, some sort of comfortable, luxurious lifestyle that you're aspiring to. Definitely comfort and feeling secure and protected in your finances, but there's more to it than that, okay? So I'm going to leave it there. I hope something resonates, my beautiful Gemini. Thank you so much, and love and light.